Calypso Monarch must be a true Calypso king. Master of the words, infused with tradition and philosophy, is my Calypso.
So then, the fact that you were so upset, you got left out, what made you rethink or fall back in line? Because I remember I used to come and spend weekend by Mantis, you know. I see you grow like a little boy. Nice. And I remember that time in truth. So what really made you have that retake?
Well, some time passed, but my passion for the Calypso, it never waned. Yeah. I used to go and back up spare key. I used to go down in Imagica with Mantis since I was a little boy running away and thing. So it never waned. And then I went to school, went to college, started teaching. And in 1993, up came the Calypso Association. They were having the Independence Calypso competition.
I remember that.
Right? And they said, well, people would send in entries. And just for the hell of it, I wrote a song. And the deadline for sending in entries had passed. I said, you see what? I'll sing the song still. I'll record it. So I stayed back at evening in the school when everybody had left. I grabbed the little cassette player and I taped the song. I look wrong to write. I didn't want to write my name on the cassette because you want to understand I felt I wasn't good. I didn't want people to know who is that. So when I look wrong, the notebook that I had written the song on was a Scholar notebook. That was the brand of the notebook.
Yeah.
So I just write that on the cassette.
So that became your name then?
I wrote that on the cassette. People don't believe my name came from some kind of intelligence.
It's an exercise book?
It was never like that. It was fear. Wow. My name is a subject of fear. Wow. I didn't want people to know. And I wrote this, and I gave a partner of mine who was coming in town. I said, drop that. Because I had no faith because the deadline had passed. Yeah. Fooling around. I said, drop that. And I totally forgot about it. Honestly, I didn't bother. And about 2 weeks later, they called the finalists for the Independence. My name calling Scholar, me don't know who. I don't remember that was on the cassette. So I would have missed that Independence. But the good thing was, the guy who brought it, he remembered. And the man being me up, the man tell me congrats. I said, well, congrats for what? I said, but you make it. I said, well, I hear them name today. And he said, boy, no, boy, Scholar, you write anything. That was how I got my name. Yes. That's how I got the start. Wow. And the rest is history. I went to another competition. One go, Calypso Monarch. And then I didn't have to audition to go to Black Roots anymore. Black Roots came calling.
The use of similes and metaphors, personification, puns, and imagery is usually masterfully woven in your song. Where did you get that inspiration from?
Well, the truth is that when I look back at my whole Calypso career, and even before I started, I adored the Chuck Dossies and so on. And you know how these people write. Yes. So they were always the creative type. The type who played on words, who sang all of those things that you just described, metaphors and similes and everything else. Yes. So those people, in fact, when I listen to Calypso, those others, I would just barely listen. But those I would pay attention to. So it is no wonder, really, that this is what I gravitated to. But at the same time, this is how I learned to write too from my father, because I mirror him in many ways. I know that what I do now, I got it from him, because that's how he wrote.
So tell me about the DNA now. You mentioned that.
Well, the DNA, simple. My father, we took that. Then I have a brother who also wrote. So I write. Then if you look, my son is into it. My daughter started off until she went to church. So I give it up, but now she's back as background vocals. Tara, the governor, is my nephew. your Asylum,
Yes.
my nephew. So it's a long line. We come from a long line and everybody composes. In fact, I have a niece who has never sung.
But she composed.
Beautiful poems. Beautiful poems. She's not a doctor. And she
Publish.
composes beautiful poems. She doesn't publish them. She just composes to keep herself composing. So it is like this thing is just something that we've nurtured. Everybody can do it.